Yo, what up? It's your boy Kevin Kinkle with another edition of the Kevin Kinkle Podcast, Uplift Yourself Podcast, Let's Talk About It Podcast. Tonight, we're going to keep it kind of brief. There's a situation going on in the NBA that I would like to touch on. I would like to give mine and my father's predictions for this 5th NFL week coming up. Time is flying. We in the beginning of October. And I'm looking forward to a good week. Football, basketball, baseball, everything sports. It's looking real good for us. Looking real good. So the situation I would like to talk about or touch on is Draymond Green, Jordan Poole situation. For those that have been living under a rock or don't know what's going on, that's one of my favorite expressions. You'll continue to hear that as you listen to my podcast. Draymond Green and Jordan Poole into it during practice. And when I say got into it, they put hands on each other. It was a situation where they could be seen flapping gums back and forth. Draymond Green approached Jordan Poole while he was standing under the basket. A coach kind of followed Draymond over there, anticipating what was inevitably going to happen. Draymond Green got in Jordan Poole's comfort zone. He definitely got in within 3 feet or within 6 feet. Jordan Poole shoved him. Draymond Green then walked up in his comfort zone again, and this time he just socked him. I think Jordan Poole fell down. They squashed everything. Everything was all cool. But there was footage that got out and everybody got to see it. So people are trying to figure out, should Draymond Green get punished? Word is that the Warriors are trying to find out who leaked the tape and get them punished to the full extent of the law, because the tape, it was a violation of privacy and what goes on behind closed doors. Now, as a college basketball player that I played for William Patterson University. I remember on more than one occasion, there were fist fights at practice. Nobody got kicked off the team. Nobody got suspended from school. Nobody outside of the basketball team knew about it. I mean, a couple of our friends did, because we talked about it fooling around while we getting something to eat afterwards. But it wasn't really a big deal. It was kind of like things like this happen at practice. We're still boys. We're still going to play. We're still going to practice. It is what it is. Like, that's just family in-house stuff. It's not a big deal. And as we move on in time, and I'm talking about from when I played in college basketball, I played from 1997-98 season to 2000-2001. There was stuff that, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but there was stuff that the coaches did back then that they probably would get fired for now. But as us players, we weren't looking at it like it was any type of abuse. Like, back in the day, you kind of had to be kind of hard to play ball. Like, you had to be coachable, but the coaches are not getting through to you just by being all nice and, oh, I need you guys to move a little faster on defense. You guys aren't playing like you're supposed to. You're not playing with your potential. Nah, come on, y'all, step it up. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Like that. That's the kind of conversations that you have. So I would like to hear people's input, comment, like, subscribe. This is on YouTube. And how do you feel about that? There's been people in the league echoing my thoughts. What goes on behind closed doors needs to stay behind closed doors. Players get into it. It's intense. Your emotions are running high. This is what happens. It's not a big deal. And then you have some people like Draymond Green is a leader on that team. Now there's footage out that people are seeing. Whether they should have seen it or not, they have seen it. So what kind of example are you leading? And then we get into the whole violence thing. You shouldn't be putting hands on anybody because that's against the law. So there are a lot of dynamics to this, a lot to unpackage. So it's a great topic for discussion, and I would like you guys to join in on that discussion. That's all I have right now about the Draymond Green situation. Last night we had a lot of topics too that were talked about. I believe they're on YouTube. The team has uploaded them on Anchor and Spotify too. So I got people working behind the scenes helping me out. There's only so much I could do right now, but your input will be greatly appreciated. Now, since we're at the 5-minute mark of this edition of the Kevin Kinkle / Uplift Yourself podcast, I'd like to get briefly into the picks that me and my pop made, and then we are going to be out. And the next time I will hear from you will be the wrap up of the games, unless something happens that we need to talk about. You heard? I love y'all. I like to keep y'all up to date. I like to have the conversations with y'all. So I'm going to do everything I can do in my power so we, WE, can have some good combos. And last night's relationship topics was off the hook. I've been getting a lot of good feedback on that. Lots of good topics, discussions, lots of people that have some good input that I can't wait till the phones come out. I can't wait till I have the in-person conversations and dialects so I could show you guys and so you guys could see this visual. It's going to be dope, man. I'm just excited for what God has in store. So, so let's get to it. The 1-2-1 Indianapolis Colts were at the Denver Broncos. Me and my father picked Denver last night. Indianapolis won in one of the most boringest games of the year, probably the decade. The 3-1 Giants are playing the 3-1 Green Bay Packers in London, 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. We both picked Green Bay. The 3-1 Miami Dolphins are going to be playing the 2-2 New York Jets. We both picked the Jets in the upset. Miami's quarterback is still hurt, and I believe Miami has a receiver that's hurt too, so they're not going to be 100%. We're both picking the Jets underdog win. Nobody's picking them to win but us. Philly at Arizona, we both picked Philly. Philly's 4-0, Arizona's 2-2. Atlanta 2-2 at Tampa Bay 2-2. We're both picking the GOAT Tom Brady. Chicago 2-2 at Minnesota 3-1. We both picked Minnesota. 1-3 Detroit at 1-3 New England. I took Detroit. My dad took New England. Detroit is missing a lot of players, but I think they will be able to beat New England, who I think is without their quarterback. They have a new starting quarterback that's going to be starting for the first time in his career. Houston 0-3-1 and Jacksonville 2-2. We're both picking a young quarterback over there that's doing his thing. Jacksonville with the victory. The LA Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns. I got the 2-2 Chargers over the 2-2 Browns. My father picked Cleveland. That should be a good game. 1-3 Pittsburgh at the Buffalo Bills, who are 3-1. We both picked Buffalo. Seattle Seahawks and my man Geno Smith, who I've been talking about, is playing in New Orleans, who is 1-3. Seattle's 2-2. I picked Seattle. My father picked New Orleans. The Tennessee Titans, who are 2-2, versus 1-3 Washington Commandos. We both picked Tennessee. The 49ers are playing Carolina. The 49ers are 2-2. Carolina's 1-3. We both picked the 49ers. The 3-1 Dallas Cowboys versus the 2-2 Super Bowl champs Rams. I'm picking Dallas in an upset. My father has the Rams. And like I tell you all guys every week, Dallas has the personnel, even without Dak Prescott, to be doing what they're doing. They're surprising a lot of people, and some people's teams are in the top 5 power rankings. The Rams are not looking good to me at all. I think they're messing with some injuries, but they got smacked last week by the 49ers, and I just don't believe in them. This Cooper Rush, his 5th win in a row, which is crazy for a newcoming quarterback. So I'm believing in the Cowboys with the upset over the Rams. Cincinnati 2-2 versus Baltimore 2-2. We both go on Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens. And then on Monday night, you got the 2-2 Las Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs at 3-1. We're both going with Patty Mahomes for Kansas City. So I believe we had 5 games where we picked the opposite. So we got, those are our picks. Last week I was 10-6. If you guys want to follow with us, if somebody else wants to add their picks in, let me know, and I'll put on notice, and maybe we can have some friendly wages going on. Nothing crazy with any money, because I don't want to get locked up. But it'll be fun to make some friendly bets. Maybe we could bet a case of Pepsi. I don't like Mountain Dew, but I do drink a little bit of Pepsi on the weekends when it's time to cheat. Other than that, I don't really mess with soda like that. But it's your boy Kevin Kinkle, man. Thanks for spending some time with me. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'll keep y'all posted on how we make out with the stats, and I love y'all, man. Kevin Kinkle Podcast, Uplift Yourself Podcast, man. Peace.